Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, today I'm going to talk about the Women's March that took place in Washington, D.C., and around the country, and in fact, around the world. It was a march against sexism, a march against misogyny, a march against intolerance, a march in support of women's rights, a march in support of immigrant rights, a march in support of African Americans, a march in support of the disabled, a march in support of LGBT rights. What you had was a convergence of interests. So you had all these different groups unite basically around a principle of tolerance. They were organizing against Donald Trump for all intents and purposes, Donald Trump and the GOP. Donald Trump, as many people know, has made all kinds of sexist statements. This man has disrespected women. This man has talked about, bragged about, joked about sexually assaulting a woman using vulgar, foul language. And this man has become the president of the United States. So that march sent out a message that was loud and clear that they are challenging Donald Trump and everything that he stands for. That event was a success by any measure. When you look at the size of the crowds, when you look at the peaceful nature of the demonstration, when you look at the fact that they were able to gather a diverse group of people, even though the primary people that were attending the event or participating in the event were white women, you still had, large numbers of African American women and men. You had large numbers of immigrants, Latinos, and other groups. So it was a success by those measures. But one scholar pointed out something that was real important on Facebook. A professor from Morgan State by the name of Stacy Patton talked about how there were signs condemning Donald Trump and the GOP, and rightfully so. But there were very few signs condemning the white women who made Donald Trump's election possible. White women supported this man by surprising numbers. One of the reasons why many people predicted that Donald Trump would lose the election is because women make up close to 50% or even more than that of the electorate. So people thought it would be difficult for this man to win the election given his anti-women statements, his sexist statements, his misogyny. In light of that, many people thought it would be impossible for this man to win. But he won. He won with the support of 62% of white women without college education. He won with 45% of white women with college degrees. And that's astonishing. I mean, all that does is remind us that for those white women, they are white first. They're white first. They're not women first. The issues of women are less important to those women than the issues of racism, than the idea of whiteness is more important than the idea of them being women. That's the only explanation as to why they would support a man who has shown no respect for women. That's the only explanation, especially given the fact that this man ran on an anti-immigrant message. He ran on an anti-Muslim message. He ran on an anti-minority and African American message. It's no accident that that man received an overwhelming amount of support from white supremacists. The KKK endorsed him. David Duke endorsed him. The so-called alt-right movement endorsed this man. This man ran on racism. This man ran on xenophobia. So these large numbers of women who voted for him primarily because of racism, because they shared a lot of his racist, bigoted, and prejudicial type of views. And I just think that that does need to be addressed. And I saw a few signs from a few sisters that were posted online. This one woman said that you have to remember that white women voted for Donald Trump. That's what her sign said. And then there was another sign that a sister posted that said 94% of black women supported Hillary Clinton or, didn't vote for Trump. And I think that that's significant. And I think that that's something that wasn't addressed for the most part, at least according to the things that I have seen in that march. That's something that needs to be addressed. And I wanted to talk about a couple of other things dealing with this march. One thing that I noticed was just the number of celebrities. There were a lot of celebrities. There were black women celebrities. There were elected officials, people of status in the society. And that just made me think about how it is safe for people to talk about gender issues. It is safe for people to talk about these LGBT issues, but it is not safe for these people to speak out on issues affecting black people. Because how else can you explain the fact that these same celebrities, these same politicians, many of them wouldn't be caught dead at a Black Lives Matter rally. Many of them wouldn't be caught dead at a police brutality rally, a rally against police brutality, or a rally against racism. But here they are turning out in large numbers for this women's rights event. And I think that they should be commended for participating in something like that. But at the same time, they need to be questioned about their commitment to our issues. Because here you have large numbers of African American women coming out to this event. And you do essentially have a convergence of interests where you have all these groups that are affected or will be affected by Donald Trump and his rhetoric and his policies. So they're converging together to fight against his agenda. And I think that that's a good thing. But when people converge, they need to make sure that there is reciprocity. They need to make sure that there is some aspect of mutuality, where things are mutual, where you have these large numbers of white people coming out for this women's rights event, but will you have these same number of white people come out against police brutality? When civil rights groups want to organize against police brutality, will you see this same number of white women coming out, this same number of white men coming out? Will you see that kind of support? And if not, you have to ask yourself, why not? If not, you have to ask yourself, why are you supporting a cause that doesn't support you to the same degree? And, I just think that these celebrities, I think that really they need to be held accountable when it comes to race issues. We really need to try to engage them in our movements as well. If they can come out for a women's rights march, then they can come out for a march against police brutality. Here you have all these young black men and women being killed by these police, but I don't see these celebrities coming out. They're reluctant to speak out too often, and that's a problem. And I know that ultimately it's the activists who will make a difference, but these celebrities can play a role. These celebrities can bring attention to issues. So those are my thoughts on this. Tell me what you think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.